Good evening. Hello, everyone. Back again. Tonight we are all cozy, relaxing on my sofa. I'd like to talk about kink websites and the profiles that we all make on those sites. Specifically, I'd like to talk about cock shots in general, as it kind of relates to that whole rigmarole. So I feel that in our in my experience as a woman, as an attractive woman, as someone who's very open with her sexuality and is willing to talk about sex and talk about kink and go into all of these things, I think I field maybe slightly more cock shots than the average woman, but the average woman gets unsolicited cock shots all the time. And I think we can all agree that, unsolicited, unasked for photos of your genitalia is rude. If a woman did it to you and you weren't attracted to her, you would be like, oh, what does she think's going to happen? Assuming that these are males viewing me. But just in general, if a person is wanting to, if a guy or girl came up to you in a trench coat with nothing else underneath and opened it and then closed it and walked away, you would be aghast. It would be such a strange experience, and that's kind of how I feel about unsolicited cock shots. It's just like, oh, what a strange choice that was. So in general, I think it's a poor practice to send pictures of your genitalia to ladies or gentlemen who've not explicitly asked for them. But what is the verdict on the cock shot in your profiles? Well, these websites we're on, whether it be Collarspace, FetLife, like any of these websites, I think it's safe to say that for the majority of people, they're looking for a romantic partner or a sexual partner, or maybe only community, but there's definitely an element of attraction. You want to have people come to your profile and feel attracted to you and want to engage with you and want to know more about you. So if it's strictly for sex, I can see the logic of throwing it out there, throwing your cock out there. But at the same time, because these are fetish sites, it makes sense to me as well that you would be wanting to, let's say you're an exhibitionist and you're in love with your body and you have tons of body confidence, you should be allowed to express yourself and you should be allowed to have your erect cock, as your profile picture, your main photo, the first thing any visitor sees. But at the same time, you kind of have to think about your audience, right? What is going to capture the attention of that dominant woman that you're hoping to connect with? And how do you go about, introducing yourself in a way that will be well received? And for me personally, I don't gravitate towards a cock shot. And that's unfair. It's definitely unfair. But it's just how I choose to experience the world. I would more likely click on a torso, but honestly, I would more likely click on, a quote or a piece of art or something that's interesting, because I tend to be more cerebral than visual. But a lot of the people that I personally want to attract are visual. So that's why I always, you always see photos and videos of the girls front and center. But that's me both as an exhibitionist showing off my body the way that I want to do it, and also kind of catering to, knowing my audience, like knowing who I'm trying to attract and who I think would be someone who's attracted to me physically and sexually. So I think that if you are making a profile, or if you're wondering what you can do to differentiate yourself, I would say take a look at the pictures, because the pictures are the first thing, more often than not, the first thing that people see, more so than the words. But I do think it's unfair that there seems to be a pushback, especially in the FetLife community, against the male exhibitionist. Like, if you have a cock shot as your main profile picture, it's like, oh, no one's going to take you seriously, bro. And that's unfair, because if I want to, show my tits, or even if I had a pussy picture, people would still talk to me, and that's just a double standard that we have to deal with. But I think it's definitely worth considering. The last thing I would say that I find interesting would be, I think that there's a certain level of intent behind a man's erect penis, right? Like, I think coming from a place of, if you are a submissive male, it's because of just the biology of male arousal, and the assumptions that are being made. It's that you're more concerned with your pleasure and you're hyper aroused versus you wanting to service me, because I'm not in the context of that. So I think that that might be why a lot of dominant women aren't particularly taken with cock shots. I don't know. That's kind of just a shot in the dark, like, or at very least, that's like my personal take on the matter. So if I were trying to attract a more dominant person, I would definitely try and be clever, try and put something that would be interesting, and especially if you're not body confident, if you are concerned about something, definitely, you have lots of options for as far as photos go. Similarly, though, I post a lot of pictures on various sites because I have a fair amount of confidence in how I look and in how they're going to impact me down the road. I think it's very unfair and frankly silly for someone to find me attractive. Granted, it may be my writing, it may be my video, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but if you find me attractive, I want to see you. So if you have no pictures up anywhere and you can't send me one, I can't take you seriously. Like, I don't understand what's so challenging about that. Like, there shouldn't be it's not a challenge. Like, just send me a picture. Like, you found me physically attractive. I want to find you physically attractive. There are people who don't rely so heavily on physical attraction, but sorry guys, that's me. Like, that's just it's how I roll. Like, I want to see you. I want to lust after you. Like, it's just part of how I experience my sexuality. So I think that is definitely one thing I wanted to talk about. So hopefully I'll be making these more regularly with different topics. But until the next one, my lovelies.